Hello everyone, and welcome to this tutorial on how you can conduct legal research using our LexisNexis database, which is accessible via our online library database. So here we go. I'm going to show you how you actually go about step-by-step doing so. Now, if you're in your course already, which you are if you're accessing this tutorial, then what you're going to do is you're going to want to click on Course Home, and then you want to scan down to SPC Resources, Library Resources and Services. You're going to click there. Once you're in that section, you want to click Databases by Subject. And when you do so, this is what your screen should look like. Then you can click on Business, or you can click on Legal. I usually just go straight to Business. And then you're going to scan down to the drop-down list where it says LexisNexis Academic. Click there. Now, when you get to this screen, this is how you're going to see Lexis pop up, although you have to be actually logged into my courses for it to pop up in this way. If it doesn't pop up like that and you're not yet logged into my courses, what you then need to do is put in your username and password. Your username is your student identification number, and your password will be the last 4 digits of your social security number, just an FYI, so you have that information. Now, what I want you to do from there is click on Advanced Options. Deselect all and select just state and federal cases if we're doing just a case lookup. So if you're doing just a case lookup, that's what you're going to want to click onto. We can also search by subject or topic, but I'll show you that in just a minute. So let's say that you have to research an automobile negligence case involving a trucker who was transporting goods from one state to another. And one of the issues that you have is whether or not the state in which the party is suing has jurisdiction over the matter. So what you would want to do is think about the key terms that you need to use in order to pull up a specific case. So when you look at your fact scenario, you're looking at key terms that come out to you. So let's say the case happened in Georgia, and the plaintiff lives in Georgia because that's the victim, that's the person that was injured, but the trucking company is located in Arkansas. So now we have to say, okay, where does jurisdiction lie for this case? So one of the key terms you might want to use then is jurisdiction. All right. Now, there are connectors. Connectors are things that will tell the program, Lexis, how you want this search to be run. Jurisdiction is one of the words, but then you can say, well, I want all of this within the same sentence. So then what you're going to do is your connectors are going to be W/S, which means within sentence. Jurisdiction, Georgia, within sentence. Obviously, you're going to want to, from our studies, that you will be remembering or recalling, we're going to be looking at the long arm statute for Georgia. So then you might want to put in within sentence long, within sentence arm, and then within sentence statute. But this is an automobile case, so you also want to put in automobile or auto. You might want to put it in like that. If you put an exclamation point at the end of any root term, it will bring up all of the variations of that term. So automobile, automotive, autos, anything of that nature will bring it will bring all of those versions up. And then you might want to say within sentence, negligence. Or you might want to keep that key term in that way, the way I have it right now, and then put our exclamation point again. So let's see, once we put that in, what our search will reveal. No documents found. That means we have too many terms that the computer can't pick up. So we need to limit some of these terms. So now what we might want to do is Take all of that out. And you might want to say jurisdiction within Georgia, auto and negligence, and see what happens. Okay. And sometimes exactly what you're seeing happening is what you have to do. You have to kind of play around with the words until you get it to a point where you're going to pull up the sources that you need. So jurisdiction, we know we're talking about jurisdiction. We know we're talking about Georgia because that's the state where the plaintiff is suing. And we know we're talking about a resident that resides in Georgia and that resident is the plaintiff. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull up. Now we do a click and we come up with 491 cases. Now you can refine that, or you can go ahead and you can start looking at the cases. This is a 1963 case. So what you generally want to do is you really want to look at not just the relevance, but also the time frames, because the closer you have to what is happening now in 2016 is a better perspective of how a court would hold with regard to the jurisdictional issue today, because jurisdictional issues have changed over time depending on the various situations. So then you would want to pull up these different cases and see which case might have more relevance to your topic. But that's a very brief understanding of how you actually conduct legal research for case purposes. Now, if we go back, we edit, and then maybe we want to go in and search by topic. If we want to go in and search by topic, maybe we want to go ahead and we want to look at federal and state cases, but we want to look at specific areas. So, for example, we want to look at Georgia because Georgia is the state that we are actually concerned with for purposes of this particular research. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and we can put in jurisdiction, our same terms, within sentence, Georgia, within sentence, plaintiff, within sentence, resident, and then maybe we'll try negligence and see what happens. Okay, so now we have 10 cases that we can look at. So now you've refined it, and now we've got Southeastern Turk Lines versus Rand. That might be a good case to look at, even though it's a 1959 case. It's a starting point for you. And so you can take a look at that case and see what it says. So it pulls it up, and now it highlights the key terms, and you can go ahead, you can look at the opinion, but a really good starting point for any research is to look at the overview of the case. Plaintiff sustained injuries from an accident in Bartow County involving the trucking company's driver and another motorist. There you go. Now we're looking at something that's more on point with regard to our case, and even though it was a long time ago, it still will give you a perspective and understanding of the rulings in this kind of situation. So that's how you go about researching case law. Now, I want to really quickly let you see how you also would go about researching federal statutes and regulations. So let's change our topic now, and we're going to, we want the annotated U.S. Code. We don't need the public laws. Federal Register, not so much, and we can bring in the Code of Federal Regulation. We'll just go ahead and we'll let that apply for now. So we can also expand this further if we wanted to go into certain state regulations, but we're going to keep it this way for now. And what we're going to do is, let's say you have a topic where you're trying to research whether somebody has infringed on your trademark or logo. So let's type in infringe, and we're going to do it again as a root word with the exclamation point, so we can bring in all variations of infringement, infringing, infringed, anything of that nature. We're going to say within sentence, trademark, within sentence, and again, within sentence means we're refining that search. You can also do within paragraph, which would be W/P. You can also do within 5, which would mean within 5 spaces, W/5, but usually within sentence and within paragraph, and also using the exclamation points is enough to work your magic with regard to the research. Okay, so trademark, infringement, maybe we want to say tarnished or tarnishment, and let's see. Well, let's just see what we come up with those terms. I'm sure it's going to be funny. Oh, it's only one of two. So, well, that's true. I'm sorry. I forgot. We're actually researching the regulations and the statutes now instead of case law, and I'm still in case law. So we know that Title 15 of Commerce and Trade will bring you to the statute regarding trademark and infringement and tarnishment. So that is what you would click into. Now, what's nice about doing that, as we go to this section, is you're talking about trademark infringement. The the statutes will actually take you to cases that talk about the different types of infringement, as you see here, which then, instead of having to go and do the additional case law research, is a great source of case law for research for you without having to go through the case research database instead directly, so as I just did in the first example. So you do this, and then you can pull up a case and go directly to it if it's on point for what you need. Now, it depends on whether you're dealing with a federal regulation, whether you're dealing with state regulations, whatever the case may be, but that's an example of how you would actually access a state regulation or a federal regulation. So, and that's how you actually go about doing key searches for regulations, for statutes, for regulations, anything of that nature. So, I hope that this tutorial was helpful. Please contact your instructor if you have any questions, and also we have certain librarians on staff that can help you as well. Good luck, and have a great semester.